All right, so today we're with Shontaye, and Shontaye's going to ask you some questions. So question number one is, how have you changed because of working and coaching with me?
Oh my goodness. So that's like, you want me to you want a short version of that question? Like seriously. Um,
However you'd like to answer it.
no, it has been a big change for me. It's like, I think if I had to equate it and kind of describe it in a way that, like a simple way, it's almost like before I started working with you, I was dragging, this boulder behind me. Right. And so it was like moving a little bit, but kind of really like feeling weighed down and just pulled, right? Just pulled. But knowing I want to go forward, but I'm still like being pulled. And it's like, this is really hard. And so I don't feel like moving forward. I don't feel like doing anything today, or I don't feel like this. But like halfway through our first day together, when we did the VIP session, I felt like that was gone.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, are we still working like the rest of the day? Because I got stuff I need to do. I got I got phone calls I need to make. I got people I need to talk to. But it has been that consistently over and over again. It's like, as I continue on this journey and step in more and more, it's like the stuff that I would get that would slow me down before. I'm like, that's BS. We don't do that anymore. Or this is how this goes. Or I give no energy to it. I give energy to the things that make me feel good rather than giving what's based on someone else's agenda for
Yeah.
me. So that's like, for me, it's been huge.
Awesome. So what would you say are some specific results you've walked away with because of this experience?
Oh man, specific results. One, lots of clarity in areas in my business, like simplifying things that were slowing me down, taking too much time to get done. I think two paid speaking engagements, two clients. Like I think like clients came about like within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Of the VIP session. And so it's been like every month there's been like a little bit more here in this area or a little bit more here in that area. And it really, I don't want to say that it's been like, oh, I've been doing harder work and more work in my business. It's been taking care of me first. And so slowing down and identifying what really feels good to me.
Yeah. And I think you also locked down about 35K in your retreat as well, like just with a couple of.
Yeah, the retreat. So yeah, it's like, there's been a lot of good stuff. I mean, so the retreat, speaking engagements, private coaching clients. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else, AJ. But it's just been great stuff. It's just really been things that feel good. Like, and it's not been that I've had to, I think people hear, oh, you started working with someone and you probably had to do all this stuff. Like I had to work crazy hours, and that wasn't the case at all. It really was, that is for later. That's not for right now.
Awesome.
And I think for me too is, I do have times when people reach out to me and they want to collaborate or they want to invite me to do something. And, in the past I would say, oh yeah. And then I'd find myself not really kind of feeling like I wanted to do it. And now one of the big things for me was just kind of really giving myself permission to say no, but it's not no like never. It's just like no for right now. Like right now, it just doesn't fit. But let's circle back.
So good. So good. So what would you say you were struggling with before that's no longer a struggle for you now?
Oh my goodness. Relationships, and it wasn't necessarily like the relationship with other people more so. It was the relationship with myself and really embracing my greatness and who I am. And really understanding myself more in a way that I didn't, it's like we sometimes beat ourselves up because we're not doing it the way someone else is doing it. um, or why am I not, well, I should be doing that, right? Was because we're doing this comparison. Oh, they're doing it that way, I should do that. But for me, it was understanding how I operate and how I work and what my unique gift and genius is, and bringing that forth and like standing in that power and just being like, that's not my lane. I like the way you do that. That's nice, but that's not my lane.
Awesome. So if I'm hearing you correctly, prior to the experience, you're really struggling with who you are, like at your essence, your identity. You're comparing yourself to other people. As a result, create a lot of guilt, self-imposed, self-inflicted guilt. Therefore, creating all of this striving and struggle, which is like the feeling of carrying the boulder. And now it's like, cool, this is who I am. This is how I'm designed to thrive. I have nothing to prove, nothing to defend to any human. And you're able to actually go create results a lot faster with a lot more ease, and a lot less stress, with a lot less struggle.
Yeah, because I think before, AJ, it was more like, what's going to make them, right? Whoever them are, right? These outside people, right? What's going to make them happy? What's going to make them feel good? And so instead of me speaking up when something didn't feel good, or when something was, just really using my voice.
Yeah.
And not being afraid of the leader. Like, I think sometimes we know other people see our power, but sometimes we diminish it, right? Because we want to fit in. And I don't care anymore. Awesome. You know what? If I'm the only one in the room with an orange shirt on, everybody else has on black, yep, you're going to see me. And that's just what it is now.
So good. So would you recommend, somebody who's looking for some type of coaching, clarity, confidence, certainty, taking their business to the next level, unlocking their potential, the profits, like, would you recommend coaching with me to them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would, like, 1,000,000 times over. Like, awesome. I think it's, I feel like there is this, there's this mindset, right, work that you get when you work with a mindset coach, right? And I haven't worked specifically, like, exclusively with a mindset coach only, but I know I've had, work with other business coaches, and they do reference mindset work, or maybe there's a mindset coach that I'm following. But I think the thing that was key in working with you is that it wasn't just mindset. It was like uncovering who I am, uncovering how I am wired, right? And using that to leverage my position in the market for more clients, more profits, more freedom, all of those things, not necessarily like, oh, say affirmations every day, Shontaye, right? And just believe in yourself. like, oh, no, Shontaye, you're wired this way. That's why that doesn't feel good to you. And that's why this does. And it's like, well, why the heck did it take me this long to figure that out? But, right, everything happens at the perfect time. And so that's kind of like, yes, absolutely, I would recommend it. And, it's been, like, getting the life part together, which also helped, like, accelerate the business piece. And together, it's just really been this amazing experience, like, each and every day. It doesn't mean that there aren't days that I don't feel like it, or days that I'm, like, not, triggered in some way. But I find myself taking the time now to look at this text message or look at this email and unpack it a little bit before I like shoot off a message like, hey, what the hell are you talking about? Like, are you out of your mind? Or like blocking the person, whatever, whatever. But now it's just handling it more and being willing to be vulnerable in situations and be uncomfortable for what that next level and what that stand for me and for what I believe in looks like. And, I think I've mentioned this to you before. I'm just, in this season, I'm unwilling to negotiate what feels good to me for your
Yeah.
daily.
So good. So good. So if you had a friend who was thinking about, making an investment into working with me at some capacity and they were kind of on the fence, if you could speak them like to that person directly, what would you tell them?
Sign up, like figure it out, do it. Like don't think about it. I mean, just do it. You're hungry, you go you go eat, right? Like you just do it. Like it's not, you figure it out. Like I honestly can say that it's worth it. It really is worth it. It's not um, a situation where you got to feel like, oh, okay, I'm making a bad decision. No, this is a good decision because it's not like buying a pair of shoes that, right, the soles are going to wear off on them, right? And you're going to eventually probably throw them out. The investment and like the growth, and it's not necessarily just knowledge, it's really more so knowing yourself and it's like a deepening and a growth, a transformation in a way that you can't put a dollar amount on it, because the way I think about my life now is totally different. And the way I approach my days is totally different. So pull out your freaking credit card, pull out 3 or 4 credit cards. I don't care. Pull it from an investment account, like whatever you need to do, but figure it out. Like if your car, was to break down or you needed tires and you say, I don't have money for the tires, you're going to figure out how to get the tires. So I think you just figure it out. You just
Awesome.
do it.
Thank you. So my last question to you is, somebody watching this and they may be at a place where like, okay, hear you, Shontaye, but why? Like, why you recommend that I pull out the credit card? I mean, why should they invest in me rather than some other coach? You know me, I'm completely unattached to anybody ever working with me. I just want people to get whatever they require.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're at this place of like, well, why? What would you recommend to them? Like, why should they invest into me specifically rather than somebody else?
I would say you specifically. For me, it was, I consider myself a little bit tough, right? Like I figure I'm a pretty good, I know what I need and I know who I can BS, right? Like I'm like, this person isn't gonna, they're not gonna call me out. And I feel like of all the coaches that I've worked with, and I've worked with some amazing coaches. And I've gotten some amazing results with them. But I feel like at different points in time in your own journey, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at it and say, who's really going to call you out on your BS and not sugarcoat it? And, I'm a straight shooter. I need somebody that's going to come to me like that too. And someone that not from a place of making you feel bad or ashamed or anything like that, but really the entire time, in our sessions, I always felt safe and comfortable, like whatever thing it was that I was dealing with or that I was bringing to you, I didn't feel like I was going to be judged. I didn't feel like I was less than or anything like that. It was like I always came out like on the other side, knowing, understanding, being better, right? And so, not that some other coach doesn't do that, but for me, I had to be honest with myself about what I needed at this point, and it wasn't someone else that I'd already worked with.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I totally get it. I think one of my geniuses is guiding people into their own fire. And the fire is uncomfortable, and yet this fire can be very safe with the right person. I have people in my life that guide me in my own fire, and I'm so grateful for it. You know what I mean? And so, thank you for letting me guide you into your own fire and even taking the time to even speak about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I I read through my notes often. I go back through things. I hear you, in my head sometimes when I'm like working on something or approaching something, and it's like before or if something's triggering me, right? I'm like, this looks like that thing before. This is right, a test. This is like, but you're different now. You know how to handle this, right? And then, and in a way that nobody is going to feel attacked or worse or anything like that. But it may not feel good, right? You're in the fire, it doesn't feel good, but guess what? We don't have to be burned.
That's right. We can allow the fire to refine us and take us to a whole new level of freedom, financially, and just also love and peace. All of it is completely possible to have simultaneously.
Yep. And
Awesome.
I've had it, and I've definitely had it. Like so much peace, so much growth, so much clarity, and just confidence and like being on the right path and on the right journey.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your message, your little experience with everybody. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.